Okay, so that was earlier in the week at my friend's place. I cut all the grass from around the house because the Takimotos will be doing the drain. They'll be making a slope, they're still making a slope up for a car park, and they'll be cutting down some trees next week to prevent the trees from falling on the house in the future during a storm, a typhoon. So that's with the house that will become a guest house when my friend is not here in Ryujinmura, and that's over there, 5 minutes from here. So I want to talk about this today, this place, because as you may know, on Ryunohara we have 3 properties. The house I'm staying in, this is the middle house, and there's a lower house down there which Nico was helping to clear out. That house is abandoned, it's beyond repair, so I'll leave that one alone. But this one here, my dream is to turn it into a cafe, to serve all-day breakfast, Singaporean breakfast, nasi lemak on Saturdays, and Ryujin Okai-san, Ryujin porridge on Sundays, with all local ingredients on both days, of course. So the trouble is, repairing this house, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I do need help, and that will reduce the cost of renovation, like hiring professionals to do stuff. So I will talk about the cost on another day. But before we can even get anything done, I do need some help with this house, and I'll be talking about how you can help. So that's the cafe, the future cafe, and I am going to put a spreadsheet in the link. There are black stars on some of the tasks. It's a whole list of tasks. And by the way, I just want to have a shout out here to Nico. Nico highly encouraged me. That's a euphemism for stressed me out and made me create this, because he said volunteers will need to know what exactly I need help with. So he told me to make a full list of what needs done, and I have a few tabs here. So just look at the first tab, that's for this cafe. I've grouped them into several components: demolition and disposal first, building work, which happens later, getting the immovable hardware in, like the taps, the sink and stuff like that, and then there'll be movable hardware. Licensing that has to be done after everything is in, create the menu, source for products, do PR and advertising. That's much later. But first, especially in the demolition and disposal part, I do need volunteers who are strong and able to help me to demolish stuff. I'll show you what I need done. So have a look at the spreadsheet also. The very first black star is for this place: demolish existing bathroom. Rack tiles, move the tiles to the field, remove the chimney, remove the door, remove the heavy tub. I'll show you inside. Document the process. That's a lot of work. So let me show you exactly how it looks like right now. And I don't think anyone will want to use this bathroom for now. It's usable, yes, but it's not something I want for guests coming to the cafe. The first thing that has to go, all these tiles and everything for this room here. It used to be a bathroom, and it has a traditional metal tub. It's called Goemon Buro. The Goemon Buro has heating coming from outside. It's a wooden chimney with just the flames below here, and you sit on top of a this thing so that you don't get burnt, you don't get cooked. And it's called the Goemon Buro because Goemon was a man who lived in Kyoto. I think this is many hundred years ago. He was a thief, and he went to the Prime Minister's residence, which at the time used to be Nanzenji Temple, and there's a huge Sanmon gate there. He used to creep up there every night to hide out, and after a while the police found this thief hiding in the gate of the most important man in Japan. So they cooked him. They put him in a metal pot, and from then on people called metal pots like this Goemon Buro, the bathtub for Mr. Goemon. And these days, using a Goemon Buro, I don't mind using this. The problem is that it's taking a lot of space up in a cafe where people will probably not be bathing in. So I'd like to hack all these tiles away, everything away, and move this bathtub outside so that you can find some other use for this in the future. The thing is, I have never demolished something like this before, so I'm sure it's just hacking away stuff, as what Nico, the French Nico and I did with the kitchen. But there's a lot of hacking to do, so if you know how to do this properly, neatly, without destroying the structure itself, the main structure itself, please let me know. There's drainage and everything also, so I'm not sure how this will work. In the future, I'm thinking of turning this into a toilet, or the other option is to remove this entire building and have a toilet built with the house. I'm not sure what to do yet, but the first thing that has to go are all these tiles. They have to be hacked off. And I intend to have the metal bathtub, the Goemon-buro, moved here. This is an old well that's been sealed up. It's not working anymore. So maybe the Goemon-buro can just sit here for the time being, and we'll find a way to use the Goemon-buro in the future. Alright, and the next thing on the list is dismantle existing water piping. That shouldn't be too difficult. It's this thing here, that thing there, so a bit of digging to do, some piping over there, and I'd love help with this because doing this with two people is easier than one. You could just give me some ideas along the way, but if I don't find anyone, I'll do it myself. The next thing that needs to be done is demolish existing kitchen area, which is this whole area. And I've been looking at the wood and thinking about what to do with this. All these, they're halfway bitten out by termites, they need to go. I am still thinking about what to do with the roof here, which is still kind of usable, but on this side it's really low. So if we decide to demolish that and bring the toilet in, then this part will have to go and we will rebuild a covering for this area. So this part has to go somehow. Let me see, the next thing is on my list. The next thing on the list is dismantle existing storage tent extension. The previous tenant here, he built this cabinets, well, it's not a cabinet, it's a shelving system, and he made all this with scrap wood. It's very poorly made and I don't want this here. The roof is too low to do anything with anyway. So I was thinking maybe it'd be nice to sit here and have a picnic, but too low. Feels constricting, so this has to go too. The next thing on the list is make firewood from waste wood. So the thing is, there's a lot of wood here, and I've actually been thinking about if I actually want to make this into firewood. The thing is that the main house, the Irori, uses charcoal, not firewood, because firewood creates sparks and those could burn down the straw roof, the miscanthus reed roof. So I'm actually only using charcoal in there, and I have no use for firewood at all. Thing is, if I make firewood and dry it out now, in half a year's time, in a year's time, I could have a pizza oven. I'm thinking of a pizza oven someday, and then I could use the wood there to fire the oven. And there's some wood there that's still kind of nice. I was thinking of turning it into a compost corner, but open compost corner does attract rodents here, and we do have badgers coming into the invasive form kind of badger. They're from the US, and they have invaded the whole place. And if you have open compost heaps, they will come and they will breed. So I've decided to use the round tub like covered up compost bins, and I have no use for all those wood right now. The thing is that if I have someone help with the sawing down of the wood, I have a kerosene powered power saw, then we could turn some of these into the not rotten ones at least into firewood, stack them up, and then put them aside for a while more. it's low on my priority because there's actually a lot of firewood here. Just going to the forest and there are branches and everything. So to collect firewood it's something to do in the future. I do not actually need it now, it's low on the list. If you want to make firewood from waste wood, you have to remove the nails, saw down wood, pack the wood in neat piles. This will take a lot of effort, and if I do have help, then I'll do it. If not, I will not do it. The next thing on the list is remove debris from the around the building, the perimeter of the building, and that includes things like this metal wire that's just dangling about. I like to pick all these stones here. When you cut grass, all these fly about all the time. It's very dangerous because it could fly into your knees, your shins. It could knock into the building, destroy the wood eventually, and they may go underneath. They just go everywhere. So all these rocks, like debris everywhere, I like to have all these moved away. That includes things like this useless pipe here, which actually isn't doing anything because it's just stuck into the ground. The water, no water goes in there. So that's one thing. And all these cement blocks also. Probably some staircase of some sort. So all these I like to move away. On the back of the building there's this plastic PVC pipe. There are all these rocks everywhere. And that's the first thing, to remove the debris. But next on the list will be to remove some of these plants here, because if you have too many plants here, the moisture builds up and it starts making the house rot, because there's not enough sunlight to shine on this once. Because the thing is, the floor does get damp, and if you don't have sun shining on this, then it starts growing fungus, like all this, not fungus, but I don't know, it just looks green. And eventually this will affect all the wood on the house, and no matter how much you spend on the house, it will all be destroyed. So all these doesn't need to go. Things like the tea plants, they are struggling because they've been overgrown with other weeds. So I'll keep the tea plants, make them shorter, like cut them down. And things like this, it's a camellia bush. It would have been nice if this bush were half the size. It's way too high right now. It's not causing any danger to the building, but it's causing moisture to build up. Same thing here for this. I think it's a hisakaki tree. It's nice, yes, but half the size. That over there, don't know what it is. It's azalea, but it's crowded with creepers also. And I simply don't have the time to do every single thing. I'd love to have help with this. So if I have someone come, we'll be working on this for at least a day or so. And if you do this hard work, I'll make sure you get a very nice barbecue. Okay, I have some vegetarian people, so yeah, vegetarian barbecue. You have as much as you want. Alright, and that's the demolition part of the work. I do need volunteers to come soon. I like to do all this work within the year before winter sets in, because once winter comes, it's too cold to be working out the whole day. It's not comfortable. Autumn is the best time though, because the mountains will turn red, the food will be good, the fish will be nice, the vegetables too. And it's just all pleasant weather to work in, even if you're demolishing stuff. So if you're coming, please note that I ask that you are vaccinated. Both shots I have been vaccinated, and that's because if you come and you're not fully vaccinated, I have to socially distance myself for 2 weeks after you come, which is kind of troublesome. I do meet people like the Takimotos. The father is 85. I don't want him to get COVID. So it's very inconvenient for me to have people who are not vaccinated here. If you're vaccinated, please come. And of course you have to be in the country, because no foreigners can come into Japan at the moment on tourist visas. That said, there's a lot more to do about this house. I'll fill it in about how I want this place done. I'll be coming up with some drawings and all that over the next few weeks. I'd like to show you how I have the cafe in mind for now. But let me take you inside because I've not taken you inside for a few months. Inside, I have a quick rundown about where things will be, and you can see from the inside how nice it is to be sitting here eating breakfast. If you've watched some of the first videos, you've seen French Nico helping to demolish the tiles here. And recently, the Takimotos asked if I wanted to get rid of some of the tiles, so I removed all the hack tiles and they've trucked it away. So the kitchen will be here in the future, and I'm thinking that the toilet will be over there, somewhere there. That building there in the furthest distance will be demolished, so that when you sit here or when you look outside here, I'll demolish this also. You can look out at the fields, not the fields, but the yuzu trees and the ume trees, the plum blossoms. They'll be really nice in March. It's cold. You're sitting in here and you can look outside at the plum blossoms. Very nice, I think. So that will be the kitchen side. And for the sitting area, you turn around. This will be the sitting area, and we have 4 rooms here. So what I'm intending to do is to have floorboards installed. I decided not to go with tatami here because it's very moist, and for the house above, I have had to remove the blue mold. There's been some blue mold because when tatami is fresh, for the first year, it will get moldy if the humidity goes above 90% for a few days. So it's been a lot of trouble applying vinegar, alcohol on the flooring up there. So I intend to just have cedar floorboards here made from the local trees. So that's one thing, and because it's open like this, I think it's easier to manage with COVID restrictions. In Japan, there's no restrictions on how open, how close your restaurant has to be, but doors everywhere. So if you sit here, there'll be one room here for maybe up to 4 people, another room here for just 2, one big room there with a huge table for a couple, 10 more people or so. So there'll be quite a big space here, and maybe I'm thinking of either having a table or a sofa area like a living room, so you can relax, watch the scenery, and I think it'll be nice. Yeah, so this is the sitting, eating area. And as you sit inside, looking outside, this is the greenery you get. Autumn time becomes even nicer because of all the colors. So this is one of my favorite things here, the view. You can sit here and you feel like you're miles away from the city, which you are very far from the city. So the air's fresh, you have the yuzu tree here, the persimmon tree. And that's just the front. I haven't talked about the back. If you're sitting in the back area, sitting, let's say here, a small little table, 2 people, and you're chatting, you can have the view up there. But behind you is this view of green also. I love how the stone wall is filled with little roundish leaves everywhere. It feels really nice sitting here. Hear the crickets. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you for this week. I think that's enough to soak in. Let's see over the next few months and years how this will turn out. I hope this project, this cafe, will start by October next year, so I'll give it 1 year. And I will probably be starting a crowdfunding campaign once I've gotten in the costing for the kitchen, how much to repair the roof exactly, because it will be in the tens of thousands. I can't afford that on my own, especially with COVID now. I used to be able to, if this was like 2 years ago, before COVID struck, as a tour guide, I would have been able to start a cafe like this with my own funds. But now, because of COVID, the actual tours are gone, and I only do online tours, which don't bring as much income as before. So I'd like help with this, both physically and financially. But the financial part has come later when I have the plans written down. The first thing I do need help with is physical. So if you're strong, you're healthy, please come. See you next week. I'll keep you updated.